The Chesapeake Bay is dying, and it is our fault. We all love and enjoy the wildlife and scenery provided to us by the Chesapeake Bay. But did you know it is being destroyed by us? If nothing is done to stop the destruction of the Chesapeake Bay, it, alongside with its wildlife and scenery that it provides, will be destroyed and it won't be recoverable. The Chesapeake Bay will die if we do not take initiative and save it ourselves. I have done extensive research on the Chesapeake Bay and its watershed and what is happening to it in the last 3 weeks. First, I will talk about what is causing the loss of the treasured Chesapeake Bay and its watershed. Second, I will talk about how the forest provides for the bay. Lastly, I will talk about what we can do to help preserve the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay is dying due to deforestation and pollution. These two things actually go hand in hand with one another. In the Forest Loss article by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, the trees help keep the pollution out of the water. However, the trees are disappearing at an alarming rate, causing the pollution in the water to be worse than it would be had we had the trees there. As well said in the same article, the watershed loses forest for open land and green space for development and farming every year. On average, 33,000 acres of open land between Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia were lost per year between the years of 2009 and 2019. The area that was claimed tended to be for the use of farmland or urbanization to further develop. Now that I informed you of the Chesapeake Bay, or what is causing harm to the Chesapeake Bay, I will now inform you of how the forest provides for the Chesapeake Bay. Forest buffers are critical to clean water, as stated in the Forest Buffer article by the Chesapeake Bay program. A forest buffer are trees, shrubs, and other plants grown next to rivers and streams that are the last line of defense for runoff pollution to enter the water. They are critical because, as stated in the Forest Buffer article, they prevent pollution from entering the water and stabilize stream banks. The trees also provide many health, economic, and environmental benefits. Economic being that in PA and Virginia, they are one of the highest economic industries, and in Maryland, it is the 5th largest. In the Forest Loss article by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, they estimated forest buffers remove 19 to 65% of nitrogen pollution, 30 to 45% of the phosphorus pollution, and 40 to 60% of sediment that would otherwise enter adjacent streams, which would pollute them, and it'd be bad. The trees also shade the water, keeping it cool in the summer months so it can sustain marine life, which was stated in the Forest article by the Chesapeake Bay program. One of the biggest marine life that stays in there is brook trout. As well, if the water would not be shaded and would be warm, it would grow unhelpful algae and harm the water. Now that I've informed you about how the forest provides, I will inform you of what we can do to help. We can help restore the Chesapeake Bay in a multitude of ways. The article Forest by the Chesapeake Bay program suggests planting trees and shrubs, or even planting native plants to support the animals that have adapted to the region would help the bay. Another way we can help is by donating to the Chesapeake Bay Foundation to help them in their goal to save the bay and keep it safe for years to come. Other ways to help is by conserving energy and water. As well, we can get further educated on the topic and find more ways to help, such as finding days where they actually go out and remove pollution from the bay. In conclusion, today I talked about the causes of why the Chesapeake Bay is dying. Second, I talked about how the force helps provide for the bay. And lastly, what we can do to help save the bay. The Chesapeake Bay will die if we don't take initiative and save it ourselves. The next time you are looking at the wildlife and scenery provided by the Chesapeake Bay, think not what it can do for you, but what you can do for it.